It's our declaration of economic independence.
Tonight on DC News Now, President Trump announces sweeping new tariffs on countries around the world. The impact it'll have on families in the DMV and across the U.S.
The FAA is promising more support and resources for Reagan National. The changes we can expect in an effort to improve safety.
We didn't see any rainfall today, but showers and some thunderstorms will be back in the mix on Thursday. We'll time out when this stormy weather could roll through.
I think he's going to make it before the end of the season.
Counting down the goals, the growing anticipation for Capital star Alex Ovechkin to break the NHL's all-time scoring record.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. Tonight, the cost of everyday things are expected to go up. President Trump announcing his sweeping tariffs for every single country in the world, saying this will bring back businesses back home.
Yeah, he calls it Liberation Day.
April 2nd, 2025 will forever be remembered as the day American industry was reborn, the day America's destiny was reclaimed, and the day that we began to make America wealthy again.
The minimum tariff on every country will be 10% as of midnight, but some countries face a much higher tax on goods they ship here to the U.S., upwards of 49%.
DC News Now's Ben Dennis has been looking into what these tariffs will mean for all of us. And Ben, let's talk about this. What sort of things could soon cost more?
Well, the White House claims that tariffs will prompt companies to do business in the U.S. where they won't be taxed the same way. But prices for cars, clothes, food, and more coming into the United States are expected to rise short term.
Liberation Day. Waiting for a long time.
President Trump announcing sweeping tariffs on countries and the goods they send to the U.S. Nations taxed at least 10%, China at 34%, and 20% from the European Union.
In other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset?
Look, nothing's going to change very much. We make a lot of our products here. We make most of our food here, so I'm not worried.
Critics argue that tariffs or a tax will be passed on to consumers.
It's only so much a business can absorb themselves, and they're going to have to pass on some of that, a lot of that, to customers.
Among goods Americans regularly use from outside the U.S., tech like smartphones, computers, and TVs, as well as clothes, vehicles, and car parts.
Brake pads can be anywhere between $300 and $400. I can easily see that stuff going up to $500 to $600.
The news came on the heels of the U.S. Senate voting to reject the president's previously announced tariffs on Canada. The effort to end this led by Virginia Senator Tim Kaine.
None of his policies, including these tariffs, anticipate any relief for hardworking and middle-class families.
They're liberating consumers from their hard-earned money because this is going to translate into increased costs. This isn't partisan. This isn't Democrat, Republican. This is math.
To advance domestic purchasing, President Trump also said that there will be a tax deduction on interest rates for loans to buy American cars. It is, however, unknown just how long it will take before consumers could see costs rise on non-American products. Back to you.
All right, Ben. So economists and industry leaders, they are already sharing their concerns that these tariffs will hurt businesses.
Yeah, and that includes the seafood industry. The U.S. imports about 80% of its seafood, much of which will become more expensive now as they face higher duties. The head of the National Fisheries Institute saying tariffs could also threaten the jobs of about 1.6 million Americans who work for commercial seafood companies.
And it could be an expensive holiday season. Toy companies are looking for ways to cut tariff-related costs, like reducing packaging and no longer including batteries with their products. But the head of Basic Fun, which makes Tonka trucks, Lincoln Logs, and Care Bears, well, he says they're still going to have to raise prices, with the popular Tonka truck set to jump by $10 or even $15 for the holidays. We have continuing coverage on Trump's sweeping global tariffs on air and online at DCNewsNow.com. There you will find live updates on how these new import taxes will impact all of our budgets. Just go to U.S. and World News, that tab there on our website.
All right, let's get a first check on the forecast. Meteorologist David Matson in for Janessa tonight. And we got some big changes heading our way.
I know. We got to prepare for tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. We got the good side of things with the warmer temperatures. I know we all like that.
Yay.
Definitely.
What we don't want is the storms that may come with it. Yeah. And that's what we got to pay attention to. But hey, checking it out right now, folks out there, just clouds. That's been the theme all day long, and we'll carry that theme into the overnight hours. Very, very overcast across the entire DMV as those clouds continue to roll in from the west. But we don't have any rainfall. We don't have any storms as of yet, as the center of this massive storm system that will eventually make things a little bit soggy and perhaps stormy here in the DMV tomorrow. It's out over the center of the country, and this is a nasty line of thunderstorms stretching from Indiana and Michigan all the way down into parts of Arkansas and Louisiana that is producing a severe weather outbreak across the Mississippi River Valley, back up toward the Ohio River Valley as well. Multiple tornado and severe thunderstorm warnings have been ongoing for the last several hours, so it's going to be a long night for that part of the country. Now, again, that's the front that will approach here tomorrow, but we won't see any impacts until likely the afternoon, evening. It will still be cloudy, and it will actually be warming up as we head into the start of our Thursday. So no worries to kick off the day, but when could things get stormy out there? We'll time it all out for you coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, we'll see you then. We have new details tonight in Maryland on a lockdown today at a Montgomery County school following a fight at Watkins Mill High School. Letter from school to families says a student was injured with a weapon during a fight at the end of the 5th period. That student, we're told, has non-life-threatening injuries. School says the student who started the fight left the building, allowing them to lift that lockdown. No word yet if that student who started the fight has been located or if they'll face any charges. Of course, we're bringing the latest both here on air and online at DCNewsNow.com.
In the district, police are looking for the final suspect who broke into this restaurant here on U Street in Northwest last week. You can see the man rooting around behind the bar. 2 other men have already been charged. All Virginia schools will soon have emergency plans in place in case someone has a heart attack or stops breathing. The governor signing the law to make sure that each campus creates a cardiac emergency response plan. So officials say it will be a single-page document listing names of people who are responsible for the location of these automatic defibrillators, getting that AED over to the person in need, and coordinating with all first responders. All schools will also have to have at least 1 practice drill a year. The law goes into effect July 1st.
Developing now at 9, it has been a tough week inside the air traffic control tower at DCA. There was another near miss between 2 aircraft, and an air traffic control worker was arrested for a fight inside that tower. That, of course, comes a couple of months after the deadly mid-air collision over the Potomac. The FAA is now making changes. DC News Now's Max Marcilla joining us live from Reagan National. All right, Max, we've seen changes to who can fly in that airspace, but this is more focused on the air traffic controllers.
That tragedy of just a couple months ago is still on flyers' minds. As hundreds of planes take off and land here at DCA, there is still constant thought of the one that did not.
I certainly thought about it, and I hoped that enough changes had been made to make sure that we were safe.
With that in mind, the FAA is ordering changes to improve safety. According to the agency, it's increasing its operational supervisor staffing from 6 to 8, reviewing controller staffing numbers, and reviewing DCA's arrival rate of aircraft per hour. The FAA says arrivals disproportionately happen in the last 30 minutes of each hour.
I think we need more air traffic controllers, and I think that they have really stressful jobs.
Changes here are welcome, and it comes at a time where what has happened inside this tower has made headlines. An air traffic controller was arrested and charged with assault and battery after a fight inside the tower, and there was another near miss last week.
Washington, D.C., it's not a playground for the military. They can do these flights in another area.
Help is coming in the form of a critical incident stress management team. The FAA sent it to DCA after the late January crash. It will come back this month, offering confidential support for staff. Wellness checks will also be regularly scheduled.
Any stressful job, especially when you need to be on like 24/7, you definitely need to make sure those people are the most mentally fit.
And tonight we reached out to the FAA hoping to schedule an interview to discuss the impact of some of these changes. We also reached out to the National Air Traffic Controllers Association. The FAA, instead of that interview, sent us a statement, and NATCA declined to comment. Reporting live at DCA, Max Marcella, DC News Now.
Capitals trying to make some magic happen in North Carolina against the Hurricanes. They are losing 4-1 right now in the third period, but star Alex Ovechkin scored, which means he's just a hat trick away from breaking the NHL all-time scoring record. After tonight, there will be 7 games left, and of course, fans are really hoping for Ovi to break that record at one of the 3 remaining home games of the regular season.
Wouldn't that be sweet? We are all, of course, awaiting the moment. There are even countdown clocks popping up all across the DMV. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg talked to fans before tonight's game who can barely contain their excitement.
What better place to capture the excitement in D.C. than at one of the most iconic restaurants? This countdown clock is one of 30 across the DMV, and it has fans looking forward to a milestone moment in sports history. Beyond the classic half smokes at Ben's Chili Bowl, the conversation is on the countdown.
I think he's going to make it before the end of the season.
Washington Capitals star Alex Ovechkin just goals away from the all-time NHL scoring record.
He's been doing a heck of a job. I mean, that's unheard of to be approaching Gretzky's records. Are you kidding?
Ben's Chili Bowl owner Kamal Ali feels the thrill too.
We're just, making history. Ovi making history. I mean, this is huge. The number 1 of all time. If he hits this goal, which of course he will, it's just amazing.
These clocks are at ice rinks, restaurants, and landmarks across the DMV.
We have some that have made their way all the way up to the NHL shop right in Manhattan.
Caps Director of Marketing Morgan Hannell says it's about rallying together and engaging fans.
It's amazing to see and be a part and witness this history. With Ovechkin having spent his entire career here, there's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement as everybody's been counting down with us and inching closer and closer to that record.
The great chase is almost over the finish line.
I think it's going to make headwind, right? It catches that momentum. He can do a hat trick any time. So couple more games, we're going to be there.
In Northwest, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.